Have you ever felt that something was watching you even though you were alone? What if that feeling came true during a seemingly perfect beach day? This is the true story of a beach experience that took a chilling turn. It was a warm August afternoon when a group of college friends decided to visit a secluded beach, known for its crystal-clear waters and tranquil setting. The beach was not only beautiful, but also known among locals for its mysterious reputation. It seemed like the perfect spot for a relaxing day out. The group consisted of Mark, Sarah, Emily, and David, 4 friends eager to escape their busy lives and enjoy some downtime by the sea. They arrived early, setting up their beach spot under a large old umbrella, and spent the morning swimming and sunbathing. The water was inviting, and the clear sky promised a day free from worries. However, as the day wore on, an odd sensation began to settle over the group. Mark was the first to notice it, a strange feeling as if they were being watched. Mark tried to shake off the feeling, attributing it to paranoia. But as the sun began to set, the once vibrant beach started to feel eerily quiet. The gentle hum of the waves seemed to grow louder, almost deafening. Sarah, Emily, and David were oblivious to the growing tension, engrossed in their conversations and laughter. As evening approached, they decided to build a small fire. The flames flickered, casting long shadows across the sand. It was then that Sarah suggested a midnight swim. Despite Mark's hesitation, the group agreed, seeing it as a chance to experience the beach from a different perspective. The friends waded into the cool water, the fading light casting an eerie glow over the beach. The calm, rhythmic sound of the waves seemed oddly comforting. But soon, the tranquility began to unravel. Mark's earlier unease returned, stronger than before. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. Mark looked back toward the shore and saw something in the shadows, an indistinct figure standing motionless near the water's edge. It was too far to make out any details, but the figure seemed to be watching them intently. He told the others, but they dismissed his concerns, attributing it to his growing anxiety. As the friends swam, the water grew colder, and the once gentle waves turned choppy. Emily noticed that the water was pulling them further from the shore. She called out to Mark, but her voice was lost in the increasing roar of the waves. Panic set in as they realized they were being pulled away from the safety of the beach. They fought against the current, but it seemed as if something was deliberately dragging them out to sea. The figure on the shore remained a dark silhouette, its presence growing more menacing as their struggle continued. Mark, now frantic, shouted for help, but the sound of the waves drowned out his cries. Their desperate attempts to reach the shore were futile. With exhaustion setting in, they finally managed to get close enough to the beach to call out for help. But by the time they reached the shore, the figure was gone, and the once vibrant beach was now completely deserted. The friends made their way back to their spot, shivering from the cold and the shock of what had happened. They found their belongings untouched, but the eerie sensation of being watched lingered. The night had turned from a perfect beach outing to a terrifying ordeal, leaving them with a sense of dread and confusion. The friends left the beach, vowing never to return. Their experience remained unexplained, and despite attempts to investigate, no one could identify the mysterious figure or explain the strange currents they encountered. The beach, once a serene escape, had transformed into a place of haunting mystery. What could have caused the eerie figure and the deadly currents? Was it a figment of their imagination, or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface? The beach remains a chilling reminder of how quickly a peaceful day can turn into a terrifying nightmare. Next time you visit a seemingly perfect place, remember that the true horror might be waiting just below the surface. Have you ever experienced something so unsettling that it left you questioning your sanity? Imagine finding yourself alone on a remote beach, only to encounter a figure from another world. This is the true story of a haunting encounter that changed a fisherman's life forever. Our story begins with Tom, a local fisherman known for his solitary early morning expeditions. This particular morning, Tom decided to visit a secluded beach he had heard rumors about, a place rumored to be cursed. With his fishing gear and a sense of adventure, he set off before dawn, eager to test his luck. As Tom arrived, the beach was shrouded in a thick, eerie fog. The air was heavy, and the usual sounds of seagulls and crashing waves seemed muffled. Undeterred, Tom set up his fishing gear, his breath visible in the chilly morning air. Little did he know, this beach held secrets far darker than any he had imagined. Tom cast his line into the fog-laden waters, feeling a strange sensation of being watched. He shook off the feeling as nerves, focusing instead on his fishing. Hours passed with nothing to show for his efforts, and the sense of unease grew stronger. Just as Tom was about to pack up, he noticed a figure emerging from the fog. At first, it was just a shadowy form, barely visible against the backdrop of mist. But as the figure drew closer, Tom realized it was a man dressed in old-fashioned fishing attire, complete with a tattered raincoat and a wide-brimmed hat. The man stood at the water's edge, motionless and eerily quiet. His eyes, though partially obscured by his hat, seemed to bore into Tom. Feeling a chill run down his spine, Tom tried to make out any distinguishing features but found none. The figure appeared otherworldly, like a ghost from a bygone era. Tom approached the figure cautiously, calling out to him, but received no response. The closer he got, the more unsettling the situation became. The man's face remained hidden, and his presence seemed to distort the air around him. Tom's unease turned to dread as he noticed the man was carrying an old fishing net, soaked and dripping with seawater. Desperate for answers, Tom reached out to touch the figure. His hand passed through the apparition, sending a wave of cold through him. The ghostly figure remained silent, staring ahead as if lost in a trance. Tom, now terrified, stumbled back, feeling an icy grip on his heart. Tom fled back to his gear, his mind racing. The fog began to lift and the figure slowly receded into the mist. He packed up his belongings with trembling hands, desperate to leave the haunted beach behind. As he hurried away, he glanced back and saw the figure vanishing into the distance. Once home, Tom couldn't shake the chilling encounter. He researched the beach's history, uncovering an old maritime legend about a fisherman who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances decades earlier. According to local lore, his ghost was said to wander the beach, forever trapped in the mist. Tom's encounter with the phantom fisherman remained a haunting mystery. Despite attempts to return to the beach, he never encountered the figure again. The experience left him with a profound sense of dread, forever changing his perception of the seemingly peaceful shoreline. What was the true nature of the figure Tom saw? Was it a spectral remnant of a tragic past or something more sinister lurking in the fog? The beach remains a place of eerie mystery, where reality and the supernatural collide. So, the next time you find yourself alone in a secluded spot, remember, not everything that seems tranquil is as it appears. Imagine discovering a hidden cove that seems like a paradise, only to find out that it's anything but peaceful. This is the true story of Driftwood Cove, a place where tranquility masks a terrifying secret. Driftwood Cove was a well-kept secret among locals, known for its stunning beauty and complete seclusion. Only a few adventurous souls knew about this hidden gem, and among them was Jake, an avid hiker and nature enthusiast. One crisp autumn morning, Jake set out to explore the cove, seeking solitude and a break from his hectic life. As Jake descended the trail, the cove revealed itself in all its glory. The rocky cliffs framed a small sandy beach, and the waves crashed rhythmically against the shore. The beauty was almost otherworldly, with driftwood scattered like ancient relics along the sand. Jake felt an immediate sense of peace as he arrived, a stark contrast to the bustling world he had left behind. Jake set up his camp, relishing the serenity of the cove. He collected driftwood for a small fire and began to unwind. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the cove took on an eerie, almost haunting quality. The once soothing sounds of the waves now seemed to carry an unsettling undertone. As night fell, Jake sat by the fire, the flickering flames casting long shadows on the rocks. The darkness enveloped the cove, and the comforting crackle of the fire became a stark contrast to the growing silence around him. Suddenly, Jake noticed something strange. The driftwood seemed to shift, forming patterns that were almost too deliberate to be natural. Jake's curiosity was piqued. He approached the driftwood, which now seemed to form eerie shapes and symbols in the moonlight. It was as if the wood was trying to convey a message, but Jake couldn't decipher its meaning. His sense of unease grew, and the once beautiful cove began to feel oppressive and foreboding. Determined to understand what was happening, Jake decided to explore the beach. He noticed strange marks in the sand, deep, irregular patterns that seemed to lead towards the water. The marks were unnerving, as if someone, or something, had dragged something heavy across the sand. Jake's flashlight beam fell upon an old, weathered object half buried in the sand. As he brushed away the sand, he uncovered what looked like a decaying wooden box, intricately carved with symbols similar to those he had seen in the driftwood. His heart raced as he realized the box might be a clue to the cove's unsettling atmosphere. Inside the box were a collection of strange, rusted objects, old coins, broken trinkets, and what appeared to be remnants of a journal. The journal was too damaged to read fully, but the entries that were legible spoke of a shipwreck and lost souls doomed to haunt the cove. As Jake studied the box, he heard a sudden rustling sound behind him. He turned to see shadowy figures moving near the water's edge, barely visible in the moonlight. The figures seemed to drift in and out of sight, and a cold chill ran down Jake's spine. The peaceful cove had transformed into a place of haunting apparitions. Terrified, Jake packed up his camp as quickly as he could. The shadows grew more defined, and the eerie noises became louder. As he fled up the trail, he glanced back to see the figures retreating into the darkness, as if the cove was reclaiming its secrets. Jake's experience at Driftwood Cove left him deeply shaken. He never returned to the cove and shared his story only with those who would listen. The cove remains a place of mystery, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs, and the ghosts of the past seem to linger among the driftwood and the waves. What secrets does Driftwood Cove hold? Is it a place cursed by the remnants of a tragic past, or is there a darker force at play? The cove stands as a haunting reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. Next time you seek solace in solitude, remember that not all hidden places are safe, and some might hold horrors beyond your imagination.